friend, welcome to my channel. Today I'm gonna show you guys how to make this bomb behind seafood rice. Man, I promise you, you ain't never had no seafood rice like this before. Stay tuned, you don't want to miss this. All right, friend, let's get started. So here we have some epis, okay? I usually make epis in bulk because I use it so often that I don't want to make this every single time I'm going to use it, okay? But I am going to show you guys how to make it in a small quantity just in case you only want to make it for this recipe, okay? All right, but if you do want to make it in bulk, I'm gonna have the link in the description box where you could go ahead and find that video. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna need is some bell peppers. Okay, I got bell peppers in 3 different colors, which is the orange, the red, and the green. Then I have 1 green onion that I cut up, and I have a piece of an onion. Then I have 1 bonnet pepper, which is totally optional. Then I have 4 garlic cloves, and I have some parsley that I already removed the stem from. I'm also going to be using 1 cube of chicken flavored bouillon, also known as Maggie, and I'm going to use 1 package of Sazon. Okay, and the reason we're using the Sazon is so that we could give it a little bit of flavor and some color. We're going to put all of that into a blender, and we're going to go ahead, we're going to add 2 tablespoons of oil, and we're going to blend it. We're going to blend it, puree it, make everything come together, and that, my friend, is how we make epis. However, epis is not the star of the show, and unlike some of y'all, epis know how to be happy for other people when it's their time to shine, because this is time for the seafood rice to shine. Epis already had its moment. It had its video. So you know what epis is going to do? Be happy for somebody else. So go ahead and let's start making the star of the show, the seafood rice. So the first thing that we're going to do is put a big pot on the stove at medium-high heat 6-7. You don't want it too hot, but you don't want it too cold either, okay? We're going to go ahead. We're going to put some oil. I put 4 tablespoons of that epis that we just made. Okay, and you guys, you see, I got my little candle lit up, whatever. Child, just because I'm cooking seafood rice don't mean I want my whole house to smell like seafood. Okay, I got my little cactus blossom. I love that candle. I got my little candle going or whatever, so don't mind me, you guys, you know. Then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to mix everything together. I also took some bell peppers and I cut up some bell peppers. I cut a half of each color and I sliced and diced them to small pieces. And I also cut up 1 large onion. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put some of that into the rice. Not all of it, because we're going to use the remainder of the cut up bell peppers and onions for later. Okay, we're going to go ahead. We're going to mix everything together and let the flavors combine. Okay, next we're going to go ahead. We're going to add 3 tablespoons of tomato sauce. Okay, that's tomato sauce. You could use tomato paste. The only difference is the tomato paste is much thicker, so sometimes I like to use the sauce. Okay, so I use the tomato sauce. Then I went ahead and I put 1 cube of chicken flavored bouillon so we could start adding the seasoning to the rice. We're gonna go ahead, we're gonna add 1 teaspoon of adobo. We're gonna add 1 teaspoon of Badea complete seasoning, and we're gonna also add 1 teaspoon of salt. Okay, trust me on the flavor. This is gonna be good. This is gonna be awesome. Okay, we're gonna mix everything together, and I know you probably looking at the bottom of the pot like, Freddie, you done burnt the rice already and the rice ain't even start cooking. Nah, baby, you wrong. That's flavor at the bottom of the pot. It's not burnt. It's supposed to be like that. Okay, so just friend, just pay attention. I got you. Next, we're gonna go ahead, we're going to add 3 cups of water. Okay, 3 cups of water. Then we're going to go ahead, we're going to mix it all together so the flavors could come together. And when I'm mixing it, I'm scraping the bottom of the pan. Okay, I'm scraping the bottom of the pan, not just mixing it at the top, but scraping the bottom. All right, and we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna let that come to a boil. We're gonna let it simmer up, and we're gonna add some parsley and thyme that's tied up together, because that's gonna give your rice some flavor. You always gotta put that in your rice. I'm trying to tell you, unless you're making white rice, friend, then you don't want to do that. Okay, then we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna put that in there, and we're gonna let it boil up. Okay, while it's boiling, when it comes to a boil, it starts boiling like this. This is when you take your cups of rice and you wash them. I'm using 3 cups of rice. I washed the rice when it start boiling. Do not try to prep early, talking about something. Let me just wash the rice and then I'm gonna go ahead and don't have to wash it later on. No, you're gonna get pasty rice that way. You have to wait till the water start boiling to wash your rice, okay? Then you're gonna go ahead, you're gonna take that rice and you're gonna put it in the pot. You're gonna put it all in the same spot. This lets you know that when the rice is on top of the rice, like when the rice is on top of the water like that and it forms a mountain, it lets you know that you have enough water to satisfy the enough rice to satisfy the amount of water you have, and you will not have pasty, mushy rice. And yes, I use 3 cups of water and 3 cups of rice. I know a lot of people told me, oh, I was always told the ratio is 2 to 1 or whatever. That's not it, baby. That's why y'all rice be looking the way y'all rice be looking. Because I see a bunch of y'all rices and it be looking like porridge. That's what it be looking like. It be looking like you made some porridge, not rice, friend. So I'm just trying to tell you this is how it's done. Then I went ahead and I added 2 tablespoons of salted butter, and I went ahead and I mixed that. Then when all the water is dissolved, it's gone. The rice done chunk up all that water, but the rice is still wet. As you can see, the rice is still wet, but there's no water in the pot. You're going to turn the heat down to a 3 or a 2. You're going to take some aluminum foil and you're going to suffocate the rice. In Creole, this is called touffé. Touffé, word for word in English, means suffocate. You got to let the rice suffocate so it can cook. It's just like your haters. You got to put your foot on the neck of your haters and let them suffocate, okay? For 30 minutes, undisturbed. All right, let's move on. So while the rice is cooking, I went ahead and I cleaned my shrimp. I already cleaned it. I did clean it with some lemon juice, okay? And I did take out all the tail and the back pieces and the middle piece, if you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Then I went ahead. I started to use my seasoning so I could season it. I used 1 teaspoon of Old Bay. I use 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, onion powder, and 1 tablespoon of epis. And we're going to go ahead. We're going to mix that all together, and it's going to look a little something like this. Then we're going to go ahead. We're going to set it to the side. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to grab my imitation crab meat. I don't want to hear it. You don't like imitation crab meat, baby, that's your business. I like it. This is my seafood rice, so I'm going to add it. When you making yours, just don't add it. So I use 1 teaspoon of epis and 1 teaspoon of Old Bay. And yeah, it fell and I put it right back in. I sure did. I don't want to hear nothing because, baby, when it fall on the floor, you pick it up and say 30-second rule. So who is you to tell me? Okay. Then I went ahead and I got some tilapia. I got half a pound of tilapia. I went ahead and I put 1 teaspoon of Old Bay seasoning and I put 1 teaspoon of epis in there. And we're going to go ahead. We're going to mix that together. If you don't like tilapia, use salmon. If you don't like salmon, use mahi-mahi. If you don't like mahi-mahi, use snapper, okay? But this is what I like, so this is what I'm doing. Then in a different pot on the heat at 6-7, I went ahead and I put a half a stick of butter and I put the remainder of the bell peppers and the onions. And I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to mix all that up and I'm going to let that butter melt into that pan, okay? And then I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to start adding my seafood, okay? The first thing that I'm going to add is this claw crab meat that I got from Publix. You know, if you're from Florida, you mess with Publix the long way. Once you shop at Publix, that means you got money. Once I make it big and I got big money, I ain't going back to Walmart. I'm trying to tell you, I'm just shopping at Publix because, yeah. But right now I can't do all that because Publix is kind of expensive, okay? That's why and you see I be using a great value. So, yeah. Then I went ahead and I put the pieces of tilapia in there and we're going to mix everything together. We're going to go ahead. We're going to add the imitation crab meat. And then we're going to let that cook for like a minute. Then we're going to go ahead. We're going to add the other half of the stick of the butter. Because you know when you're making seafood, what makes the seafood taste good is that butter. If you don't want to add it, baby, you feel like that's too much butter, baby, that's your business and you ain't got to add it. But like I told you before, this mine. And I'm going to add it. Then I went ahead and I put the shrimp last because I don't want my shrimp to overcook. And if anybody didn't tell you before, I'm going to be the one to tell you it don't take shrimp that long to cook. So I put it in last, okay? I let it sit in there for maybe a minute. Now it's time for the rice. The moment we all been waiting for. So it's like you have your haters. They ain't seen you in a minute. Because they ain't seen you, they think you ain't doing good. They think you done fell off because they ain't seen you in a minute. But little do they know, you been cooking. You been cooking and you coming for them. They think you fell off, but little do they know. So now it's time to pop off and show up and show them what you working with. Boom, baby. Look at that rice. Baby, you thought we was done. You thought we wasn't going to make it. But you thought wrong. Because look at that rice. It's cooked to perfection, baby. That rice is cooked to perfection, baby. What you thought this was? What you thought this was? Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take the rice and we're going to remove it from that pot. And we're going to put it in the pot that we've been cooking the seafood in. Okay? They thought you fell off, but little do they know. You just getting better. You just getting better. It's about to get better. Okay? It's about to get better. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to put all that rice that we just cooked into the other pot, okay? All of it. We're going to put all of it in there. Then we're going to go ahead. We're going to mix it all together so all the flavors could combine and that rice could become seafood rice. So some of that seafood could get in the rice and some of that rice could get with the seafood. Mix it very well like this, friend, starting from the bottom to the top. From the bottom to the top. Hey, just like you used to be at the bottom, now you at the top. Hey, then we're going to go ahead. We're going to cover it up. You're going to let it sit for 3 minutes and counting. Okay? Cover it up. Let it suffocate for 3 more minutes, friend. Because every time they think they suffocating you and you ain't going to make it, you come out even better than you were before. Boom, I'm trying to tell you. And baby, there we have it. At this moment, you can remove the parsley and the thyme. Thank you for your services, but you are no longer needed. And baby, let me give this beautiful seafood rice a moment of silence for the beauty that it holds. And baby, just like I told that lady at my job, find somebody else to play with. Don't play with me because I ain't the one. Look at that seafood rice, baby. I ain't the one. Don't play with me. Go play with your mammy. Don't play with me. Look at that seafood rice. Friend, you never had seafood rice like this before. I'm trying to tell you. Tell them to find somebody else to play with. Because once you make the seafood rice, baby, you don't set it off in there. You don't put things on a different level, baby. They can't even get on your level. I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to tell you, friend. Thank you guys for watching. Do not forget to like. Do not forget to comment. And go ahead and subscribe to my channel for more videos. Bye. Until next time.